So in this video I'm going to show you how to quieten your loud PS4. Sometimes they start sounding like a jet engine or a Hoover or something, so we're going to show you how to make that quiet. You're going to need a T9 Torx security screwdriver, and they're the ones with a hole in the end. You've got to make sure they got that hole, otherwise it won't fit. You're going to want a small Phillips screwdriver. You're going to want some Arctic Silver 5 thermal paste. It's probably not the best, but it's one of the best. I got a packet that included the thermal paste remover and cleaner. And we're going to start by taking your glossy cover off. You just slide it to the left. That will expose your hard drive, which you can just take out with a Phillips screwdriver. Pull that straight out inside the caddy. You can leave it inside the caddy. Then you're going to want to flip it over. I've already removed the security tape, but this will void your warranty as well by removing them. Then you're going to have 4 T9 security screws in there, which have already been removed, and then you want to lift off the bottom case, and that will reveal the power pack and the disk drive and all of that sort of stuff. You get your Phillips screwdriver. There's 2 screws on the power pack. You just go ahead and undo them and lift them out. They can be a bit fiddly sometimes to get these out because they've got like prongs in and stuff, so just give them a wiggle and they'll come out. And you've got another small screw, just pop that straight out. One in the on the left hand side, one on the right hand side, and one down the bottom. And once they're all out, you're ready to pop out the power pack. This can be quite stiff, and you'll see why in a minute. But just persevere. It kind of catches towards the left hand side there. You pop that up and you'll see that you had a couple of prongs in there that are sort of wedging it in. You'll also want to undo that ribbon there, disconnect that, and just pull straight out. Next up, you want to disable that Wi-Fi lead. Very fiddly little piece of lead there, easily broken, so just be careful with it. It just pops up. There's nothing to unscrew. It just pops up and lifts off. Then you've got the ribbon. You've got a little metal bit at the top of the clip there. You just want to push down on that, and that will release the ribbon without too much trouble. Just push down on it and slide the ribbon out. You got one there, and you got one on the actual disk drive as well. It was just out of shot there, but you'll see it at the top of the ribbon anyway. Now you want to go ahead and use your T9 Torx security screwdriver and unscrew all these screws that you're seeing now. That one's a little bit fiddly in there, it's sort of tucked underneath the cable. I'm going to go back to your Phillips. There's just the one screw there. Just get that one out of the way. You just want to disconnect that cable as well there. Pull it out of the socket and then unweave it. Just be careful with everything you do. Now that's ready to be lifted out. That's the disc drive out. Now you can go ahead and flip that back over. You have some more screws to undo with your Torx security screwdriver. Just unscrew all the ones I'm showing you on the video. Now all the screws are out, you're going to want to take off the black casing. This is a bit stiff at first to try and remove, but just sort of persevere and ease it away from the edge that I'm showing you first, where the caddy came out of. Sort of break the seal on it, start to get it moving. There it is, now that's off. You can remove the rest of the screws on the top, all the Torx security screw. And there's also a Phillips one, 2 Phillips screws in the middle that you'll see removed in a second. Right, there's the Phillips screws coming out. It's on the back of the heatsink plate, so you'll see what that does in a second. So you can go ahead and unplug that little wire there. That's vital to get out before you remove anything. It should just flick up without too much trouble. Some of them can be a bit jammed in there, but others come away quite easy. And you take the metal casing off the top and that'll expose all your circuitry and stuff. Pop that up and slide it away from the back edge there. And you can see there, that's your old thermal paste. It's no good, it's all crumbly, it's not doing its job. There's the heatsink, that transfers the heat from your CPU, GPU, whatever you want to call it. And if your PS4 is loud, it's because the heat's not transferring properly, and more than likely your fan's quite dusty. So everything's going to be cleaned. You can use like a brand new paintbrush and just flick it all off don't want to start using hoovers and stuff, it builds up static electrical charges and can damage your circuitry and stuff, so paintbrush is fine. Just unscrew them screws there that you saw holding in the fan. I actually used a pipe cleaner to get between the blades of the fan. It worked quite well, cleaned up really nice. There's a few more screws there on the fan just to get it all out. And that'll be everything in pieces then, ready to clean and to start to reassemble. And that's it. You can see the dust in between the blades of the fan as well there. Not the worst one I've took apart, but dusty still anyway. So this is your thermal paste remover. You just want a couple of blobs on there. Ideally you want to be cleaning it with a lint free sort of cloth or something, but I use kitchen paper and it seems to do the job just as good. Just make sure you don't leave any sort of lint behind on it. Starts to come up quite easy. You might need to do it a couple of times. I did. Sort of remove the worst, apply a bit more and keep going until it's clean. Okay, you can see how clean that's come up now. You can see it's really shiny, like a mirror. You see your face in it. That's now ready to apply the second solution, which is kind of like a surface preparation, so the new thermal paste bonds properly. Again, you just want a couple of drops on it, wipe it off, let it sort of evaporate, ready for the thermal paste. Okay, now that's done, you're going to want to apply the thermal paste. It comes in like a syringe. You're not going to need the full syringe, you only need a pea-size amount. You just squeeze that straight into the middle of the CPU. And as that compresses against the heatsink, it will spread out. So you just want to be really careful here and start to place everything back together. Make sure all the ports and stuff at the back of the console, they line up and go through the holes correctly. You just want to ease that in and then drop it down on top of the heatsink. You don't need to push down or anything at this point. Now you get your metal plate, put that back in, connect your wire back, and then start replacing all the screws. This bracket that's going across now with the Phillips screws, that's what's going to apply the pressure so that the thermal paste spreads out. You're going to don't do the first screw fully tight straight away. Just sort of get it in halfway, get the next screw in, try and ease them down together so that the pressure's even when it spreads and doesn't just spread to one side. So I've gone ahead and I've replaced all the Torx security screws all around the edge now, and you're ready to put your cover back on. This is the non-glossy side. Place that back on, and then there's 2 more screws to go in there to hold that in place, and you want to slide the caddy back in and replace the screw on that. Flip your console back round, put your disk drive back in, replace all the screws and pop the ribbons in place and your cables. It's basically just in reverse of how you done it, and then you're ready for the power pack. Make sure that gets plugged in and it goes down together evenly on each side. Give it a little push, make sure it's down. You replace all the screws back in the top. Now you're ready to put the bottom casing back on. So put the front in first and then just give it a little push down and it should click into place. And then finally you want to put the 4 security screws back into the back of it. And that's it. Job done.
Thanks for watching, guys, and if you like what we do here at Insert This Gamers, don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more.